Hi, my name is Ryan, and these are the top hacks when traveling with young children on airplanes. The first travel hack is storing all of your loose boxes of milk and apple juice into a large clear plastic bag. This helps for when you go through security, you can easily pull the bag out of your book bag and separate it from the rest of your belongings. By the time it gets to the end, the security person will easily be able to check all the boxes and test them, and you won't have to wait and hold up the line. This hack is a must, and my wife and I use this every single time we travel. Also, for any of your kids' bottles or sippy cups, you want to use clear plastic bottles like the ones on the right. The ones on the left, if you use those through security, they will unscrew the lids and then test them themselves one by one. If it's in a clear plastic bottle, then they'll just look at it and scan it and push right through, saving you lots of time. Next, if you're tight on space, then a great place to store diapers is in your neck pillow. We use this often whenever we're traveling for a long periods of time and have low space in our bags. We fit up to 17 diapers in this one easily, and we could definitely have fit more. This is just a reminder to make sure you bring lots of extra clothes just in case, especially for long flights. We've had a few accidents, and you definitely do not want to find yourself in that position. The next item is an inflatable travel pillow. This is great for kids whenever they want to lay down or take a nap on the flight. It stores very small and easily can be put into your book bag. You'll be surprised how well it works once you get onto the plane, and it adds a little bit more comfortability and space for your kid to lay down. If your kid is sensitive to loud noises or the rumbling of the plane, you can bring earmuffs to help calm the nerves. You should definitely bring fans with you whenever you travel, especially ones that are small and light and easy to carry and store in your luggage. We have been stuck on the tarmac many times and sitting on the plane for hours before even takeoff, and a lot of times they don't start the air conditioning during those times. So you definitely look like a travel expert whenever you pull out one of these fans and start to cool off. Also, we found fans that use the same power cord, which is nice. It's one less cord to bring. I highly recommend these two fans. We've used them many times and they always work really well. Also, it doubles as a toy because my son loves playing with them. This travel hack is very handy whenever you want to have your kid have his own space and also to avoid knocking over toys. They're called travel trays and they're great for kids. They have a lot of different compartments that you can store different items like notebooks, crayons, and pencils. My kid loves to play on this for hours. And whenever he plays with different toys, they don't fall off the edge. This is called a quiet Velcro busy book, and this is great for planes as well. It's very light in weight, and it has a lot of different features for your kids to keep busy. It has Velcro pieces on the inside, there's zippers, there's little clasps and buttons. There's all sorts of different Velcro books. We have a few, and this is just an example of one of them. As far as what toys to bring, I highly recommend a couple airplanes. You're going on an airplane already, and my son loves to bring his airplanes to the airport. Also, I recommend a couple monster trucks that are small but not too small to lose track of. Separately, I do not recommend at all bringing any sort of metal toys. Whenever my son gets worked up, he tends to throw them, and that could be very bad for your neighbors, and to throw it could really hurt someone. I recommend these spinny toys. They're quiet and keeps your kid entertained. They also stick to the seat or your tray table so that they don't fall very easily. Also, you can bring a few small books. This one has a little bit of texture for it that my son absolutely loves. Also, you can bring a couple sound books, but just make sure they're not too loud so it doesn't bother your neighbors. We like to bring puzzles that have larger pieces so that it's a little bit easier to find them if they fall. I recommend not bringing any toys that are in the shape of a ball. They're typically insinuated for kids to throw, so you definitely don't want kids throwing anything onto the plane. It'll be hard to retrieve them later, and your neighbors will definitely not be happy with you. We bring a couple devices that are similar to iPads or cell phones that my kid loves to play with. They have a lot of different buttons. They have a few different settings to change it up. They're not very too loud for on the plane, so it won't bother too many people, especially since the plane is pretty loud anyways. This is a great busy board that we got from our mother-in-law. It has a lot of different switches and buttons. Things will light up. Ours is a little bit worn and broken at this point, but yeah, I do recommend we use it on a lot of different flights. And finally, if you do allow screen time on some sort of tablet, I highly recommend these games. They are very educational and fun for your kids, and they are free to download. Separately, if you want your kid to watch any shows or movies on the plane, make sure to download them in advance ahead of time, otherwise there might not be a good Wi-Fi connection to download them later. Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe to follow for more content.